Years ago, I was working emergency response at an international airport when we were called out for what looked like a simple fall. An older man had hit his head. Lots of blood, which head wounds almost always produce, even small ones. Gate agents had helped him into one of those airport seating rows. His wife was beside him, worried. He was embarrassed, mumbling, trying to talk. At first we assumed what everyone assumes at an international airport at 3 o'clock in the morning. He was speaking another language. But then something didn't fit. The words started sounding a little Englishy, and the left side of his face began to droop. The fall wasn't the problem at all. He was having a stroke. If we had stopped at the obvious problem, we would have treated the wrong problem. The bloody head wound demanded attention. The real problem was the stroke happening underneath it. We see this pattern everywhere. Symptoms are designed to demand attention. That's what they do. And our brains are wired to notice them. The way a rustle in tall grass grabs your attention before you even know why. But if we stop at the first obvious symptom, we may never see the deeper problem underneath. And once you start recognizing that pattern, you begin to notice something else. A workplace problem blamed on one employee. A political argument reduced to just two sides. A social media storm focused on one moment. Many of the problems demanding our attention are only symptoms. You can see it in arguments that quickly divide people into sides. Problems reduced into simple choices. Urgent calls to act before anyone has time to look deeper. When attention locks on one symptom, the real causes can quietly disappear. The process is surprisingly simple. Take a complicated problem and focus attention on the most dramatic symptom. Frame it as an urgent choice between two sides. Once the argument is narrowed that way, most of the deeper questions never get asked. And it works because symptoms are loud. They trigger emotion. They demand quick reactions. Meanwhile, the real causes, the slower, more complicated parts of the problem, sit quietly in the background. Once you see the pattern, you start recognizing it more easily. When a problem is presented to you, pause for a moment and ask a simple question. Am I reacting to the symptom or understanding the cause? A few signals can help you recognize the difference. Urgency, for one. Something must be done immediately. Simplification, for another. Complex problems suddenly become simple. Attention capture. The most dramatic part of the problem becomes the entire focus. Now, seeing those patterns doesn't automatically mean someone is trying to manipulate you. Real problems often look exactly like that. Urgency can be real. Conflicts can have genuine sides. Symptoms really do demand immediate attention. The point isn't to dismiss the problem. The point is to pause long enough to ask whether the symptom is the whole story or just the first clue. Sometimes that pattern is exactly the signal that you need to look deeper before deciding what the real problem is. The world is complicated. Most real problems have layers, causes underneath causes, but symptoms demand attention. They are loud, they are urgent, they feel like the place where the action should begin, and sometimes they are. But if attention locks onto the symptom and never looks deeper, we may end up solving the wrong problem. So here's an ounce. When a problem demands your attention, pause long enough to ask one question. Am I reacting to the symptom or understanding the cause? And that's it. An ounce submitted for your consideration.